Hi, and welcome everyone to Ethereal Encounters Unveiled. Today we are broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 on the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in beautiful New Orleans. Hello, everyone. It's a joy to be here with you today, as it always is on this wonderful Thursday. And I just got the news. Mercury retrograde is ending tomorrow. Yay. Had enough of that. Done. Anyway, we'll be saying hello, Mish. Always such a joy to see you. Gosh, love when people pop in. Today, I'm super excited about my guest and about the topic that we're going to be talking about. And we're going to be stepping into a world that feels both ancient and incredibly relevant to our modern world. It's a world of scent, warmth, and ritual. Those three words are just magical, aren't they? For thousands of years, cultures around the world have turned to aromatic smoke and herbal brews to calm the mind, restore balance, and create moments of peace amid a busy world. There's something deeply human about lighting incense, preparing a comfortable drink, and taking a moment to breathe and reconnect with ourselves. Our guest tonight, Rhonda Jabari, has beautifully woven those traditions into a modern practice that anyone can explore at home. Her book, Burn Brew Rituals, Incense Blends and Cozy Drinks for Balance, Healing, and Inner Peace, is a thoughtful guide to creating simple but powerful rituals using natural ingredients, fragrant incense blends, and soothing beverages designed to help us slow down and cultivate inner calm. Through her work, she shows that everyday acts like blending herbs and lighting incense or brewing a warm drink can become meaningful rituals that nurture both the body and the spirit. So please welcome me in introducing you to Rhonda Jabari, and let me bring her on stage. Rhonda!
Hey, Carol Ann, it's so nice to finally be here, and thank you for having me.
Of course, pleasure is all mine. I'm so excited to talk to you today. You'll see me say hello to folks as they pop in the chat. Let me do that real quick and say hello to some people. Hi, Walking Trees. I love that name so much every time I see it. Libercast, bonsoir, dear friend. Gosh, I have to email you. I've been meaning to do that. And of course, we said hello to Miss Shelley. And of course, as everyone pops in, we will say hello to them. And let me get your banner up here so folks can know where to reach you. So, Rhonda, before we jump into the topic, tell us about yourself. Give us some juicy background. How did you come to be the person that you are today? How did you come to write the book? And then we'll jump right into the topic.
Well, I don't know how juicy this is, but I'm a certified Reiki practitioner, aromatherapist, community healer, ritualist. I have a bachelor's degree in spiritual healing.
Oh, wonderful.
Burn and Brew is really something that came about because of just the way that I was raised. Being Black with parents from the South, there were just little things that my mother did all the time. She made sure that that she prayed over us every day. And that was my introduction to ritual, right? So she just planted these seeds in me that have blossomed into this daily practice as I ran into obstacles in my own life. And it's like, oh my God, emotionally, spiritually, how am I going to get past this? And that's how I kind of developed my Burn and Brew as a practice. And I came to write this book because I had all the, for years and years, for decades, I had been burning and brewing, and then the internet came along because that's how old I am, pre-internet days. And and so, I started posting all the time, and then people would say, "Oh, Rhonda, we really miss your Burn and Brew," if I didn't do it. And I said, this might be a good idea for a book. So I took all those sticky
Yeah.
notes and all those crumpled up pieces of paper, and with the wonderful folks at Llewellyn, this book was born.
Oh, beautiful. That's beautiful story, Rhonda. And it really struck a chord with me. I loved your book. If you have a copy of it, I have the PDF, so I can't hold it up for you. But if you have a copy of it, by all means, show the folks, and they can reach you at Wellness Spring Ride.
Wellnessuprising.com.
Wellness Uprising. Okay, .com. So they can reach you at wellnessuprising.com, and I'm sure they can get your book there as well. It really struck a chord with me because these rituals are so important to everyone, mostly, I think, everyone I've ever encountered in my life. And whether it's getting up in the morning and making your cup of coffee and just sitting with your vibe and getting ready for the day, or having maybe a warm glass of milk and a cookie before you go to bed, like whatever your thing is. And it's just so, like, I have to do 3 of them a day in order to function. I have to have 3 rituals. So when I read your book, it really resonated with me, and it gave me so many good ideas for things that maybe I didn't think about. Hi, Kira. So good to see you. Let's start with this. What's your absolute favorite must-do ritual every day?
It's probably my Burn and Brew, which is why that was the one that made it to the book, into a book.
Yeah.
Because first thing in the morning, it's really easy to roll over, pick up your phone, start doom scrolling, right? And that sets the tone
Absolutely.
for your day. But I have found that I have to be very mindful, and we're all individuals, we're people, we're all spiritual beings, we're all energetic beings, and how you start the day and what you breathe into those first moments in the morning makes a
Yeah.
big difference. And so I'd have to say that Burn and Brew is my favorite ritual throughout the day, and I have many of them. But getting up, lighting some incense, making my cup of, today it's turmeric tea,
Nice.
having my tea or coffee or hot chocolate, and then just really mindfully entering into the day, not just slamming into it.
Right. That's so well said. I'm a candle person. My daughter's an incense person. She's burning incense all the time. She's got the incense going. Sometimes it's a little too strong. That's why I'd rather burn a candle. But you're burn and brew. So what's your favorite burn? What do you prefer to burn?
Okay, if I had my druthers, I would probably just step into a fireplace filled with something like, oh my God, chamomile burns beautifully. It's
Hmm.
soft, it's elegant, it's relaxing. I love burning chamomile. I love, of course, lavender, and then the resins, frankincense, myrrh, dragon's blood, all of those are very powerful. But I'd probably say, yeah, chamomile, because it's so soft.
Sorry, saying hello to people. I love when they come in and have conversations going on back there. It's so awesome. Let's see. Kara said, I can't do incense because it messes with my asthma, but I love candles. See, I have asthma too. And that's exactly why. So spot on for that, Kara. I think the incense tends to bother my asthma, whereas a candle doesn't, but I guess it doesn't matter, right? As long as you're burning something. Is that correct?
Sure. Oh yeah. You can burn a candle, or you can use an oil diffuser
Oh,
and get the
yes.
same effect.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love them too. I love them too. I like them in the winter because they emit mist into the air, and that
Mhm.
humidity helps like the dryness of the heat in the winter.
Mhm.
So that's definitely cool. Now, these rituals, it's so interesting how people don't realize that they're doing these rituals until
Mhm.
you point it out to them. And
Mhm.
you get so many like staunch religious people that as soon as they hear the word ritual, they think it's taboo or satanic. And it's absolutely the opposite, because even in the Catholic Church, I grew up in a Catholic church, and every mass was filled with burning incense.
Exactly. Oh yeah, they
Right.
swing them on the big chains, as a matter
Yes.
of fact. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And
what do
I
you
just
say
think,
about that?
and for people, I think, who have a problem with the word ritual, I'd like to say a couple of things. One is that a ritual is anything that you do the same way every time. That it could be the order in which you put on your clothes. It could
Yeah.
be, you know, the time of day and what the steps you go through to brush your teeth. All of that is ritual. But if ritual bothers you, then just call it being mindful about your
Yeah.
actions. Yeah,
Right. Yeah. No, I love the word ritual because it's like a very sacred word, I think,
it
too.
is. I agree.
Right? It's like a
Yeah.
very spiritual, sacred word. And like even when we shower or bathe,
Hmm.
that's a ritual too, right?
Absolutely.
Do you burn during those times as well, or sip? Like
Oh,
what do you do? Yeah.
all the time, all the time. Burn, and then if I'm showering, I drop the oil onto the floor of the shower and let the water run hot so that I can do
Nice.
deep inhalations. Or if I'm bathing, of course, then I put a few drops of it in the bathtub. But yeah, I'm always burning. I have to be careful. My sister's visiting with me right now, and yesterday she was like, "Oh my God, my throat," and I'm saying, "Oh, I forget that it's someone else here." And frankly, since I wrote the book, I've discovered I've been diagnosed with COPD. So I have to now be very careful of what I
Yes.
do, you know. And
Yes.
so what I do is I light my incense now and I put it outside on the front stoop and the smoke comes in. But by the time it reaches me, it's really, really kind of diffused.
Yeah, it gets
Yeah.
like diluted. Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And it just because like we have asthma or a lung condition doesn't mean we can't enjoy the benefits of these things. We just have to find out what works for us, right?
Exactly. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. But I don't recommend burning incense for people with asthma, especially not in an enclosed room. You know, it's
Yes,
like that's not necessary. You don't have to torment yourself. There are other alternatives like
absolutely.
oils
So
and essences and sprays.
yeah, absolutely. Why do you think that humans across cultures, because this is a very multicultural thing. It's not
Mhm,
delegated to one particular group of people.
mhm,
Everybody, I think, across the globe has their burn and brew rituals that they do. They just vary, right? So, why do you think that um, these cultures have always paired fire and fragrance and warm drinks? Where do you think, like, I'm
mhm.
sure you did historical research on that. How far back does that go?
Oh my God. I did some research on it and I still couldn't find out like the very beginnings of it, but I feel and sense that, you know, we are all one people. Remember that the lines on a map are man-made. Those are just drawings, right? So we're all
Absolutely.
one people. We came from one place. We started with whatever the one or two people were. We started it for the people who believe in it. You know, we started with one God. There's only one. There's only one source. And so there are many things I think that we do across the globe and have been doing for years. And it's kind
Yes.
of like the 100 monkey phenomenon, you know,
Yes.
uh, as each monkey does it, and then you get to that 100th monkey, and then all of a sudden, it's
Yeah.
happening everywhere. There's only one energy source, and we're all connected.
Gosh, that's so true. And I
Mhm.
love what you said about the lines are man made. They really are. I mean, human life originated out of Africa. I mean, that's
Yeah.
been pretty much proven. So, like,
Hmm.
people are so hell bent on thinking that we're separated by these man made
Yeah.
lines and countries, and we're not. We're
Right.
all one people. And you're right. There is one God, one energy, and it's a divine energy. Absolutely. So all of these things that we do every day are part of that. You know,
Mhm.
they're part of our soul, our DNA, so to speak.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
historically, what culture, I mean, I know you did some research. Did you discover any one particular country like India or China that really depends on these rituals and they're involved in like everything that they do? Or
Oh, well, absolutely. And the Chinese code and the ancient America is new, right?
Yeah.
We're babies, comparatively
Yeah.
speaking. So definitely in the more ancient cultures, that's right, Kira. In the more ancient cultures, we find that they rely, I mean, in India, it's a way of life. In China,
Yeah.
it's a way of life. So in those places, yes.
Yeah.
And in
Absolutely.
Africa, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, big time. Yeah. Walking Tree said he burns. I burn super hit every. I don't know your first name, dear. You might want to put it in the chat so I can at least know it. If you're a man or a woman, sorry, so sorry. I burn super hit every morning and always have a cuppa, especially in the bath. What is super hit? You're gonna have to tell us, Walking Trees. I'm not. I've never heard of that before, but I love learning new things. So there you go.
Right. Right. I'm
Yeah.
writing it down.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd like to know more about that. So your book teaches people how to, blend their own incense and scents, right? What are
Hmm.
some basic things that people should understand before they start experimenting?
I think that the main thing is to allow your intuition to speak with you. And if you're going to be blending and mixing, make sure that the form is something like don't buy sticks if you're going to be blending. Cones can be hard to break down. Start with loose powders and
Oh
then
yeah.
follow, yeah, and then follow your nose and your feeling and your heart. The problem I had with writing this book is that I didn't want it to be a staunch guidebook. I wanted it to be a book that inspires people to experiment. So that's really my advice for anyone who wants to get started creating their own blends. Just make sure that you feel good about it. If it doesn't smell good, if it does, forget about the so-called designated and assigned meanings of a specific scent. What does it invoke in you? That's always the most important thing.
Yeah, I really like that a lot. You have a passage in your book. Let me see if I could share it because I really thought it was so beautifully written. Maybe you want to read that for us, Rhonda, because you wrote this, correct?
Where it's, oh my, yes, my blessing. Thank you. I always say, I have a girlfriend that teases me and she says, my God, you have 15 ancestors and angels in your head and they're writing all the time. And I believe that because I woke up one day and this blessing is what was on my heart. One moment while I get to
Yeah,
that.
let's hear that because I love it. I actually read it out loud to myself because it just resonated with me. And I think
Oh
folks,
gosh,
yeah, I think
that's
folks
so good
might,
to know.
yes.
So this is my magical blessing for this book. May every page in this book be a portal, a doorway to a deeper knowing, a mirror for healing, a flame that lights the way home. May the hands that hold it feel held in return. Ashe, ashe, ashe. May the hearts that read it find themselves reflected, respected, and restored. May the words, rituals, and recipes stir the sacred remembering that you are powerful, worthy, and already enough. May the herbs speak. May the smoke rise in wisdom. May your brews warm your spirit and anchor your soul. To the ancestors who walk beside us, to the elements who dance within us, to the guides, guardians, and grandmothers and grandfathers of light, bless this book, bless its journey, bless the reader who dares to begin, and so it is. Ashe, Amen, it is done.
Gosh, that is so beautiful, Rhonda.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I always say that it's really not me, it's through me. It really is.
Yes.
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 I
Absolutely.
appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Oh, of course. Yeah. It's so nice when you get those moments of clarity and inspiration
Mm.
and you connect with your spirit guides and they kind
Yes.
of just right? They let it flow right.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so much happened during the writing of this book. First of all, and I don't have a copy yet. I'm waiting for my author's copies that I was told.
Oh,
Yeah, I was told a week ago, oh, they're coming. So like every day when the mailman comes, I'm looking at him. Um, So I don't have a copy yet, but I just pulled up my own my edited copy. But you know, so much happened when I started writing the book. I mean, we're looking at a 2-year window here. So when I started writing the book, my father was living with me. He had moved in with me at the age of 85,
Oh,
85 or
wow.
86. Yeah, and he lived with me the last 6 years of his life. Oh yeah, so it was that much time gathering notes. And but he passed away, so that was one big thing that happened. The other is that I wrote the book. I sent it. I submitted it. I only submitted to 2 companies. Llewellyn was one, and there was another small publishing house.
Mm,
I really wanted to be published by Llewellyn, so I have this thing of act as if, send it to them and just act like they're going to take the book. And when they did, I couldn't believe it. And so the publisher reached out to me and on Facebook because my email was acting up, and so they had been
oh,
emailing me. And I never got the emails. And then
oh,
when she contacted
geez.
me on Facebook, I connected with a friend and said somebody is trying to punk me because you know they're saying they're from. It was the craziest thing. And then there were so many edits. It was like this is the book that was waiting to be born, but I'm not a professional writer and editor and that kind of thing. So
Yeah,
I had to be guided by them. And when she sent it back, instead of just making the changes that they asked for, I asked to be shown what they want and the intention behind the words because they're the experts. They know what the public is
sure.
looking for and how to best move people and inspire people. And so I basically rewrote the whole book. When she got it
Wow.
back, she said, Rhonda, nobody does that, but this is exactly what we hoped we would end up with. And I said,
Wonderful.
yes, okay, that's it. So that's just really, this book it was birthed, it was born, and then it
Yeah,
was reborn all over again into what you now see with a lot of guidance from Llewellyn. They're
sure.
just incredible.
They are. They're wonderful.
Hmm.
I have few connections over there, and that's how I met you through Llewellyn.
Hmm.
And they are just a super group of people. I'm so grateful to them. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
brilliant. Yeah. So I want to ask you in your life, um, what's how did you grow up spiritually? Like, did you ever encounter anything what we would call paranormal or high strangeness, or did you lead like a particularly religious background? Like, what was that
Mm.
like for you?
Not religious, definitely some supernatural experiences.
Ooh,
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Like when I was a child and my mother, okay, so she forbade me to see the movie The Exorcist, right? But she worked nights, so how could she ever find out? So I went
right,
to see the movie.
exactly.
Right. I had to have been in the first year of high school right around then. And so me and my friends went to see the movie, but I still remember I came home and I was terrified and I couldn't say anything. I was living with my mother and I was scared to death and I couldn't tell her why because I wasn't supposed to have gone to see the movie.
Right, right.
And I still remember around that time, one of my favorite aunts had made her transition. She was the sweetest thing. We called her Aunt Tot. And I came home and I laid down in front of the fireplace and I lit the fireplace and the doorknob on our front door started turning.
Oh, jeez.
And I was fit to be tied, right? I was like, oh my God, what is it? What is it? And then something said, no, ask who is it? And it came to me that that was her. I think she was coming to say goodbye. But
Wow.
I was so terrified. But once I, whatever you call it, assumed, accepted,
Yeah,
made believe that it was
yeah.
her, then I was okay. That doorknob turned and it turned by itself. And so, yeah, that was just one encounter. But I have had many. My father passed away, even though he didn't die in my home. He passed away last April. He's
Oh, I'm
been
so
here.
sorry.
Yeah, he's been here many, many times. And
Yeah.
to talk about something more current, he was the best cook I ever met.
Oh,
And by the time he moved in, he was beginning to wind down, and he was almost 90. He lived to be almost 92.
Oh, God
But
bless.
he was 80, yeah, 85, 86 when he moved in. And so he was slowing down in the kitchen, but he still wanted his favorite foods. Well, I grew up in that 70s, 80s period where we were all becoming vegetarians and vegans and we were eating healthy. He didn't want any of that.
Yeah.
So he coached me in the kitchen so to make sure that I could prepare his favorite meals all the way up to his death.
Oh,
So a
that is
couple of
so
nights ago, and I had never, up to that time, I had never made ham hocks, neck bones, even brisket. He
yeah.
loved a good steak. I had never done any of that. I wasn't a big meat eater. So a couple of nights ago, I decided, I'm going to make Daddy's neck bones. And we would always joke because I'm from a generation of you put something on and you leave the kitchen and you wait for it to cook and then you go back. He's like, no, if you're going to be in the kitchen, commit.
Yeah.
And yeah, stay in the kitchen with the food. And I added on to that, and infuse it. I'm a Reiki practitioner. So now I'm throwing chokore in every pot. I'm sending energy to every ingredient.
Oh,
So I
wow.
was making neck bones and I put them on, and he would always start, he said, always start with like 6 hours. It's like, okay. So I seasoned them up and I rubbed them down with salt and soda the way he showed me to once they've been frozen. And they came to life and they looked really good and they were really tender. And so I put them in the pot, but I go to bed at about 6 or 7. Okay. Because I'm up at 3 or 4.
Oh,
So,
jeez.
so I said, okay, 6 hours. I'm going to cook them for 6 hours. And a time or two when he was alive, I had done this process, fallen asleep, and then the food burned. And it's like, okay, set an alarm. So I set the alarm, but that was going to put me at about 11 o'clock at night. Oh my God, that is
Oh,
so late for
jeez.
me.
Yeah.
So I set the alarm. I didn't wake up until 5 the following morning
Oh,
with the
no.
alarm still blaring. So it had been going off for all that time from 11 at night until 5 in the morning. I said, oh my God, I know they're burnt. And I ran in the kitchen and I kid you not, water had been added and the fire had
No.
been turned down too low. I said, he came through here and probably said, this girl is
No.
about to burn my neck bones. I wrote about this in my blog. I thought that was the fire. I told my sister, I said, Dad came by and he saved these neck bones from burning. Just, things like that.
Wow.
It happens. But I'm not surprised. My altar is massive in my home. It takes up about 1, 2, 3, maybe about 3 or 4 square feet.
Yeah.
And all of my ancestors are there. And
Yeah.
they visit all, if you open a doorway, if you open a portal, they come and they visit.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, I mean, people call that paranormal. I really think it's very normal. And how you receive it is what makes the difference. Some
Oh,
people
I
go,
love that.
yeah, people say, I don't believe in that. Okay, then, okay, but I do. So,
Oh,
yeah.
Rhonda, I love that. People call it paranormal, but I call it very normal. Oh, that needs to be like on a t-shirt.
Right? Oh, that's a good idea.
That is
Yeah.
such a good t-shirt.
Mhm.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Girl, I'd buy one. Get them t-shirts.
Right?
That's great. That's great.
Uh,
So added water and lowered the flame.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And the neck
Good
bones
Lord.
were wonderful and falling off the bone tender and perfectly seasoned. I said, oh, Dad, save those neck bones.
Right.
Yeah.
He agrees. Hillbilly
Yep.
Herb, he thinks it should be a t-shirt. Absolutely. See, everybody likes it. Oh, yeah, we need a t-shirt,
Okay, I'm
Rhonda.
writing it down.
We need a t-shirt.
Yeah.
And especially now, like, we're going through a spiritual awakening, and
Yes.
there's so many people connected to all this. That's why, like, your book is very timely too,
Mm.
because going through a spiritual awakening is a very lonely thing. It's painful.
Mhm.
It's not full of joy and wisdom and all that wonderful stuff. When you have awakening, you never watch a movie the same way. You never
No.
look
Oh
at a
my gosh.
person,
True.
right? You
Yes.
never look at a person the same way.
Mhm.
And especially as an empath, like I've been an empath since I can, like 3, I remember, have vivid memories. But I know, like, now when I look at someone, and it's not like a negative thing. It's my discernment is different. My discernment is very different than it was. So
Yes.
these rituals they fit perfectly into that
Mm-hmm.
because as you're going through this shadow work, this elevation of spiritual renewal, doing these rituals really, it's like a boost, it's
Mm-hmm.
like a spiritual boost.
Yes,
And
it
that's
is.
why I really like in the afternoon, everybody starts to drain out a little bit, because you're
Mm-hmm.
going and nobody gets up at 3 a.m. though, Rhonda. I got to tell you, you're getting up a little too
Right.
early there.
Oh,
But
boy.
all kidding aside, like I'll get up at 7. And by the time 2, 3 o'clock comes, I'm starting to drag a little. And I'll tell you that cup of coffee, and I sit and just sip it with maybe a little piece of cake or a cookie or something, light a candle, that regenerates you for the rest of the day
It
that you
does. And you
face,
have these
right?
two lives, right? You have that working life, however
Yeah.
you earn your living, and then you have the life at home where you want to be ready and available for the people that you love and care about, and you want to be like self-settled and self-soothed.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then to me it does require a transition.
absolutely. And this is a great point. And Hillbilly has this guy blows me away with some of the stuff that he comes out with. But
Hmm.
he's blown away by watching Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Richard Dreyfuss, you've seen that movie, Rhonda?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Yeah. Well, he does portray that type of pain of
Hmm.
awakening to the
And
T.
loneliness. Oh, he was
Yes.
so lonely in
Yes.
that movie. Yes,
Yes.
that's
Yes.
it.
It was incredible. So,
Mhm.
doing these kind self care, self loving things really makes a huge difference in our day. And do
Yes.
you notice when you miss them, like you really
Oh,
feel it, right? What
oh
happened
yeah.
to you when whether you miss it because you got tied up with something else or like,
Mhm.
well, how do you experience like a missed burn and brew?
Yeah. You know what? I don't miss Burn and Brew ever. It's
Oh, good for
yeah, I
you.
really not other things maybe, but I have missed it, in years past. And what
Yeah.
happens is I kind of feel like there's something that we talk about in Reiki. When you do Reiki on someone, if you don't do an auric sweep to bring the mind, body, and spirit all together, then the person kind of leaves wonky, right? Because
Yeah.
one body is moving in front of or just a little bit off center. That's how I felt when I would skip my burn and brew. But now it's like
Yeah.
every single morning, get
Yeah.
up and that's part of what I love about it. It's so flexible. You can do it in 3 minutes. It doesn't take a lot of time. You can make it a big fancy ritual, which I do sometimes, especially if I'm working within moon phases, which I also cover in the book. I cover how to work it with astrology, how to work it with
Mhm.
moon phases. So it whether I'm working it with when I'm working it with moon phases, then it's a big fancy put on my ritual clothes, and really take my time with it. But on a day-to-day basis, it's okay. Get up. I've got to get the day started, although it's 3 a.m. and I'm the only person in the world awake. I then I just make sure that I have all my stuff ready. My teas are always, just an arm's reach away. And then I burn intuitively. I'm not looking at, oh, frankincense is for protection and meditation, and this is for this, and lavender is for. I'm always reaching and feeling what my hand says, oh,
Yeah.
this today. And sometimes it's not an incense at all. It's a spice from your
Mm.
cabinet. Sometimes it's the
Ooh.
cinnamon, it's the bay leaves, it's the thyme needles. So it can be, it's very, very simple and quick. So I don't
Oh,
skip
I
ever
love
because
that.
I feel too off kilter when I do.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
love that it's simplified. I also love in your book how you go through a litany of like air and communication, water
Mhm,
and emotion, earth
mhm,
and grounding. So like for air and communication, you say you can bring in some feathers, right? For
mhm.
spirit, messages, and breath, or bells and chimes, which are
Yes.
so full of vibration and healing and energy, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
So you've got all these different combinations of like offerings and devotion. So you could do
mm-hmm.
food offerings, right? Would do you
Yes.
do any of those? You have your altar. What's that
Mm-hmm.
like for
I do food offerings, especially, particularly around holidays,
you? Mm,
and particularly around holidays that resonate in a specific way with African Americans. So,
mm,
the 4th of July is not a holiday that I think is a good holiday for us.
yeah.
So I I'm sorry, something just fell down. It might be somebody here.
Gee.
But yeah, yes, but then I will add food offerings to that. I might do plantain or yams or something like that. Anywhere. Yams are really fascinating because they grow anywhere around the equator, which is also where you find indigenous people of color. So I think
Oh,
that we have a special connection to yams. So I,
oh, I
I may
love
do,
yams.
yeah, me
Yams,
too. I love them.
sweet potatoes, yams. Oh my God.
Oh, so good. So yeah, but I do a food offering. And then when we do family Thanksgivings, I'll often just make a plate and set it aside for those who are no longer here. So yeah.
That's wonderful. And I think that's so important to do because not only for them, but for you, right? So it kind of
Mm-hmm.
connects you to your ancestry and the people in your life that you've lost, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And on my altar, I have a permanent offering. Dad drank gin and tonic. He didn't start drinking until he was like in his late 20s, but boy, I tell you, he drank all the way to the end. Pretty much. He stopped drinking about a year before he passed. But I every day I pour an offering of gin and tonic for him and put it on the
Oh,
altar.
that's lovely.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's lovely. Yeah. That's so important to do. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
What about using so you talk in your book a lot about like things, not only burn and brew, but coins or currency, flowers, personal
Mm-hmm.
items. Like how can we implement those into our ritual, like
Oh
our
my
daily
goodness. Well, I love the idea of coins and ancestor money. I don't know if you saw the movie Sinners. Did you catch that one?
Who was in that?
Sinners. That was the one with Michael B. Jordan. As a matter of fact, he won for Best Actor. Michael
I
B.
don't think I
Jordan.
saw.
Oh my God! If
Oh,
you
I
get a
have to
chance, you
see
talk
that.
about rich in history and ritual and spirituality. Oh my gosh! I love
Oh,
it.
I'm gonna watch that now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it's streaming
Okay.
on HBO Max right now.
Oh, I've
But
got that. I've got that.
oh yeah, then check it out. But in
Yeah, I
the
will.
movie, and it's set in the 1930s in the Deep South. And in the movie, that they open up a juke joint and they need to make money so that they can pay back this money that they stole from some gangsters in Chicago. But
Oh,
so the people come in and they're paying with ancestor money and wooden nickels. It's crazy. And so one of the brothers is
wow.
like, we can't pay them back with this money. But I feel like that symbolism, of using, it could be real coins or it could be what I always
Mm,
call ancestor money, or symbolic money, because money is just a vibration.
absolutely.
Yeah, wind is just a vibration. So if you're
Right.
really looking for how to incorporate those things in, I really like using coins in prosperity and abundance rituals. And one of my very favorites is to just, you can use just one candle, place, all dimes, all nickels, all pennies, whatever, but try to use the same coin all the way around. I always say, if you like to, that's right, hillbilly.
All right,
Uh,
don't take a wooden nickel.
yeah, if you light a candle and do not speak words into the flame, you are wasting such a powerful opportunity.
Ooh.
Every single time you light a candle, speak an intention into that flame. So you light the candle, you speak your intention into the flame, and you let the candle just burn down with the coins all around it. Write down, if you are looking for financial support for something in particular, write it down, burn that in the flame of the candle and discard of the ashes. It works for me every time.
Rhonda, I love that.
Yeah.
And Benno makes an excellent point. And I've talked about this so much recently, Benno. It's really weird that you're mentioning it. He said, I think we should go back to trading goods and services. Get rid of money. It's the root of all evil. That is so spot on. Do you know that, like, back in the day, and I'm going way back, we used to barter for
Mm-hmm.
goods and services, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know why that's not a big thing. Like, how come more people aren't doing that? Yes, I
I
agree.
I think that more of us are doing it than we know, especially in certain community. In the Black community, we never stopped bartering
Oh,
because,
that's great.
yeah, by and large, we don't have the kinds of dollars that maybe some other communities have. And I'm not saying that to beat a drum and say, woe is me. That's not it. But we had to come up a certain way because remember, we were not allowed. And so when you have been restricted from
No.
certain things,
Yeah.
then you tend to lean on the old ways. Martin Luther King said something to the effect of the worst thing that could have ever happened to us was desegregation and integration because it stopped those old practices. But I find a lot of talk now about going back to that. I certainly am filling my coffers with, things that I think will be valuable to other people as they become shortages, like sugar, like salt, like
Yeah.
honey,
Yeah.
all of that
Yeah.
stuff.
But you know what, Rhonda? I really pray that that never happens because Black culture and Black history is American history.
I agree. I
It
agree.
is.
But
It's
right
deeply
now,
rooted.
look at what's being said and done about that. It's like, you're basically saying if you are not a cis white male, then you're not American. And so anyone can be under attack, wanting to deport people,
Oh, that's the truth. But
but
you see, I don't pay attention to the news because it's
mhm,
all toxic. And
no, it is.
90% of what I read on social media, I don't pay attention to that either. I
Hmm.
go with what's in my heart and in my soul. And all I know is that we're all brothers and sisters. And I know it sounds right and it just sounds like a bumper sticker, but it's
Oh,
the
no,
gospel truth. It's the
no.
gospel truth.
And I believe there are more people like you than like those others, but they have a bigger microphone. That's all. That's what it
That's
is.
it.
They're
That's
louder.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, go louder. But you can quell those loud voices
Hmm.
with love and connection, like we're
Hmm.
having.
Yes.
This is what it's all about. See, to me, Black history and Black culture is, like I said, American history. So, like the 4th of July, to me,
Hmm.
is the perfect time for Blacks to celebrate because
Hmm.
America was built on the backs of your culture and your
Hmm.
people. So, I don't know. Not to
No.
get into a whole political thing here, but
Right.
I think it's
No,
so
that's fine.
important. Yeah, I think
I
it's so
just
important.
say, look, go back and look at what was happening to Black people on July 4th, 1776.
I know.
That's yeah. So that's why I say that. It's like, well, do we celebrate that? I believe that it should be commemorated, committed to
Yeah.
memory, yes. But celebrated,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
say no.
I get what you're saying. Absolutely. I totally get what you're saying about that. And I agree. But the funny thing about scars is and shadow work comes big time into rituals, like big.
Mm-hmm.
I love doing shadow work. And oh, did I not say hello to you, Michelle? Goodness,
Hi,
goodness.
Michelle. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Um, shadow work. It's to me a big part of the sip and burn and sip ritual because
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
like when you're not everyone has an altar, right, Rhonda? But
Mm-hmm.
like my kitchen table is like my little altar. So I
Yeah.
sit there and I, get my ritual going and I start doing some shadow work and I start thinking about what hurt me yesterday and maybe I didn't work through. And by
Yes.
having my drink and my candle burning, maybe that helps me heal, right? So you talk a lot about healing. How does
Yes.
that work too? Do you do shadow work when you do your rituals, when you're at your altar? Like, how does that work for you?
I do shadow work. I do whatever comes up, whatever needs
Yeah.
attention at that time, and you'll always know. And the whole shadow work piece is about those parts of you that you're almost ashamed for others to see. And we do have to, it's like you have to commit to anything. It doesn't happen by accident. It's not gonna just happen. And that's what Burn and Brew is about. It's like being mindful, being intentional, making
Yeah.
sure that it has, instead of just kind of waiting and letting time pass. It's like, I don't know how much time I have left. I'm 65,
Yeah.
So, it really is about bringing it to the forefront in doses and at times when you feel you can manage it,
Yeah.
manage the process.
So a lot of us don't have an altar per se, like you do. Um, do you think that that's an important part of like your spiritual day, going to that altar and setting your intentions and, respecting your elders, whatever it is that you're doing there, praying? Or do you think we can make an altar, like I said, at our kitchen table? How important does that role play?
I don't think it's that important at all. I think, yeah, on your kitchen table. I even talk in the book about how to have an altar on the go. You can fit it in a makeup bag. It's very,
Yeah.
very, yeah, it's very simple. Get something that's meaningful for you, something that makes you feel a certain way, something that reminds you of someone or something, a special time, a special person. That's it.
Right. Right.
So I don't think that a formal altar is important at all. I just happen to like it, and I spent years
Yeah.
building mine. So,
Wow.
but I've actually done workshops on how to do altars when you have limited space or
Oh,
no
you have.
space at all, or one that you can set up and break down. I've done,
Oh,
yeah, something that okay, now I want to do my ritual. I'm going to set up a real quick altar. And yeah, and I think that's included in the book as well. So I say it is, what is important is whatever you say is important.
yeah.
Yeah.
I also like in your book how you talk about breathing life, and we kind of glazed over this a little bit before. Um, Breathing life into your intention.
Mm.
So, because that to me is a form of manifesting, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell us
Absolutely.
about that.
So when I talk about breathing life into your intention, I'm talking about saying it out loud, because those words, even if you're alone and you think that there's no one listening, there's always someone listening, or something listening. So that is, in my opinion, pulling the words up from the soles of your feet and bringing them all the way up through your throat and out of your mouth, and so that you feel it all the way through your body, so that your cells are alerted to the fact that you're working on something, you're asking for something, and then
Right.
that's what sends the magnetism out to the universe and starts bringing it to you, because that's what we do. We attract. We don't really
Yeah.
manifest, we attract. So
Yes,
yeah.
that is so true. Do you think it's okay? Because I've heard, look, many of us are struggling financially today,
Yes.
and it's sad. Things are expensive, groceries are expensive, gas is now going back up, and like the world's in a mess. Do you think it's okay to manifest and ask and put intention out there for money? I mean,
Absolutely. I think
people
you can ask for
should.
any. Who made those rules, right?
Exactly.
Like, please. Yeah, I think you
Yeah.
can ask for any. You can ask for a sexy mate. You can ask for. You can ask for anything you want,
Like a
because
sexy mate.
yeah, right. you know, but yeah, I absolutely believe in, you can ask for anything. There isn't anything that is inappropriate, and that those guardrails were put in place to so that some people can be here with it, and then others will be here afraid to ask for what we all have a birthright to.
Right, exactly. See, in
Yeah.
this, we're getting so many comments. Carrie said, I celebrate humanity. Let's celebrate in unity. Gosh, that's so
Yes.
true. That's so true.
Yes.
So yeah, I love that, putting intention or combining intention with your ritual. So don't just sit down and have a cup of coffee or whatever beverage you decide, turn it into something meaningful. Do your
Mm-hmm.
shadow work, breathe intention into your day,
Mm-hmm.
journaling. Do you
Yeah.
journal?
I'm not a strong journaling person,
Mm.
but I'm a big listener. I believe that for me, it's about sitting quietly and saying, okay, God, how do I represent you best today?
Mm.
What is it that you want people to see in me that is a reflection of you? That's my like typical, if I'm not working on something specific, that's my very general kind of go-to. How does Mother Father Goddess want to be represented by someone like me? So,
Oh, I love
people
that.
can take what they want and leave the rest, but it's really up to
Yeah.
the individual.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned before, well, you have a section in here under abundance and manifestation, right?
Hmm.
So you have, I think it's under the incense or burn section, and you go through like basil, what it's good for, bay leaf, cinnamon. And like you said, a lot of these things we have in our kitchens already. What about things like things that aren't readily available in our kitchens? Could we just shop for them, like mugwort, right? A lot of people talk about
Hmm.
that it's known for dream work and enhancing your consciousness, things like that.
Yes,
Where do
yes.
you shop for these things? Like, what's your favorite go-to
There
place?
Now, for mugwort is hard to find. Do you find that mugwort is hard to find? Because
I
I do.
do. I
Yeah.
do.
So I buy the okay, crazy. All this stuff that has happened since I wrote the book. I discovered that I am allergic to mugwort. They
Oh,
did an allergy
geez.
test, and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me! I burn mugwort all the time. But I would buy the Moxie cigars from the
Okay.
Chinese healing places, and
Oh,
that was my source of mugwort. And if I
see, when
needed to,
you're
I would cut it open and spread it out.
right, right. When you're in places like Manhattan or Philly, these things are easy to get. But if you
Mhm.
live in the country somewhere and you have a small town, and I don't even know if Amazon is a good resource to get this stuff.
Mhm.
I
Mm.
never
Yeah.
really shopped on Amazon, but I'm sure there's a lot of good websites that sell herbs and things that you
Yeah.
can. Yeah, yeah, I'm
And I
sure.
just say, remember that these herbs and spices, especially if you're buying from a source like Amazon, have been handled a lot of times. Bless it as you bring it into the house.
Oh, that's such a
Shift the
good point.
vibration in your favor. Yeah, put your essence on it. I started
Yes.
with the box outside the door. And then I took everything out. I Reiki every single thing in the box.
Oh,
And then when
nice.
I use it, I do that again. So just you can source it however you need to, but just make sure that you take the time to cleanse it. I think I shared a story in the book about how I got a bunch of sage from a place, and the sage was inhabited, and this face appeared in the sage, and it freaked
Oh,
me
good
out, and
Lord.
so how I had to, it's like, okay, wait, slow your roll, because I was just peeling leaves off of dried sage branches. And when that happened, I was reminded that these things are inhabited, that they've been handled again and again and again. I don't know how that sage was harvested, you
Right.
know, or who handled it or what happened. So you just have to pay attention,
Yeah,
and
you
make sure
saw
that
a
you do your
face
own
in it?
cleanse.
What did
Say
you
again?
see?
Oh
Did you
yeah,
see
I
a
saw I saw a face in the smoke of the sage.
Oh,
Yeah, one of the I'm gonna find that for you, Carol Ann, and I'm gonna send you the picture. That was some
we'll do
crazy
that.
stuff. Yeah, yeah. I was like, and I had to ask because it was smoke. I'm like, oh, it's gonna go away in a minute, but it kind of lingered. And I said, can I take a picture? And it felt like it was okay. And I grabbed my camera and I took the picture and I said, I've never seen anything like this. But
Oh,
the smoke was I mean, the sage was inhabited. And I said,
yeah.
oh, okay. So I had to do some cleansing, and I had like several big box, like 6, 7 of the big moving boxes of it. I had bought it at a sale,
Wow.
and I said, oh my gosh, I've got to like bless all this sage.
Yes.
So
The
yeah.
same thing with crystals. When I buy like crystal bracelets or whatever, it's so important because, like you said, you don't know who's touched them, where they were
Yes. Yeah.
manufactured. I mean, and then, I hate to say it, but some people, they might intentionally put some
Oh,
evil
you got
mojo in
that right.
there.
Oh, there are many people who just for the sake of it, who just for the sake of it wish ill will on others. And that's another reason why this work is important. You want to put on a garment of protection every day, because when you go out into the world, you don't know who you're passing by, and what they're throwing at you,
Exactly.
and. So I always say, open it and close it at the end of the day, and just make sure
Absolutely.
that you're
So
keeping it off
important.
of you. Yeah.
That's such an important thing to do. Start and end your day. Like, I always tell the story of, like, if I go in Walmart, I have to put a protective, like,
Oh,
glowing white light around me because,
yes.
unfortunately, a lot of people are aggressive in there,
Mm-hmm.
and especially when it's very crowded. And I feel very overwhelmed in there. So I just kind of put this invisibility dome
Yes,
over me. And, and it's sad to say, but, not everybody has good intentions,
that's
unfortunately.
correct. Yeah, it is sad to say, but we have to protect
Buckle up.
ourselves, and it's easy to do. It's very
Yeah,
easy to protect yourself. So why not?
absolutely. Now, Walking Trees says mugwort gives her OBEs and Blue Lotus lucid dreams.
Mm,
Wow.
okay.
That is
Huh.
so cool. Do you ever get affected by your dreams when you do burnings of particular things? Like, what are your dreams like?
So most of the time, I don't remember my dreams.
Mm,
When I do, they always seem to be very heavy and very filled with something, a
mhm.
message or something. I
Yeah,
don't know that it's directly caused by the burn and brew, but yeah. And sometimes I wonder. I'm not an expert, so I wonder about, was that a dream or was that a memory? Or was it
right.
something that happened in another realm? Did I astral travel?
Yeah,
It's like, yeah, it
absolutely.
can seem so real. So I don't know about burn and brew because I do it in the morning and then you go to bed at night. So I don't know if it affects my dreams, but my dreams can be they're either extremely lucid or I don't remember them at all.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Like, I think most people remember the dreams closer to the morning. The
Mm-hmm. Mm.
in the middle of the night, with there's so many dreams that we have, you can't remember them all, but
Yeah.
it's important to do some interpretation of them when you do remember them, because
Yes.
they all have meaning. I
Mm-hmm.
think they all have meaning. So
Yeah.
what about with coffee? Like, you go through some coffee recipes, and I never thought about that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you go through one, you can take espresso or brewed coffee, I guess, and
Mm-hmm.
put cocoa powder, rose water, and a dash of cinnamon in that. So how
Yes.
did you come up with all these different recipes? Did you test them out first, or
So look, my screen name used to be Your Coffee Lady.
oh, wow.
I started drinking coffee very late. People always assumed I was a coffee drinker because I was kind of a type when I was younger. I was a type A personality, and
Yeah.
I worked for Dole Food Company, which was based in Hawaii. And
Oh,
every
wow.
time the executives would go to Hawaii, they would bring me back bricks of Lion coffee. I
Oh,
never
wow.
said I don't drink coffee, right? So I just kept. I had rows and rows of Lion coffee on a shelf. Fast forward, like, gosh, it had to be 15 years. And I went to work at my sister's business, and we were working because it was family business and we really wanted it to be successful. And I was so sleepy because we started early and we ended late. And so I started bringing in that coffee. I hadn't had coffee ever, except one time. The story is in the book. As a child, like my mother used to make coffee, the smell used to fill the house, all of that stuff. But anyway,
Yeah.
I snuck and drank her coffee, and that's a whole thing. I was sick. I threw up. It was picture day. She made me clean up after myself and took me to school anyway. So I didn't touch the stuff for a long time. But then there I was in my 30s, 30, yeah, in my early 30s. about 33, 34, and I circled back around, and I was so tired one day, and I made some coffee, and it bonded to me on a cellular level. So me and
Wow.
coffee go. It was like, oh my God! And anybody who knows me, even now, people forget that. Unfortunately, for some health issues, I've had to give coffee up just within the last few months.
Oh, did you?
And oh my gosh! But what I've discovered is that. Um, Dandelion tea, roasted dandelion tea is a great coffee substitute.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
Take the powder, and this is what I do. It's like, okay, let me experiment here. And I'm kind of a foodie too. So I like mixing things up in the kitchen, but take it and roast it and then add a little burdock, roast it some more, then strain it and then make your cup and you'll think you're having a great cup of dandelion coffee. So
Oh, nice.
you can add cream to it and everything. But yeah, so those were all recipes that I have just played around with over, gosh, let me see. I started drinking coffee. I was almost 30, and then I just quit. So 30, 40, 50, over the last 35 years.
Wow. Did you go through like a little withdrawal, quitting the coffee or
A
nothing?
long time ago, I gave up caffeinated coffee because I had a Starbucks habit, and Starbucks for me was wicked. And
Yeah, very strong.
my Starbucks habit, first of all, it was breaking the bank. Okay. Every day I was having two venti,
Yeah,
whatever.
not
And
cheap.
so,
Yeah.
uh, I tried to quit on my own. I couldn't do it. I went to a resort to detox. I spent 3 days
Oh,
in a detox facility to quit coffee. And so what I did was I gave up caffeine, and I think I was almost 40 at that time. So it wasn't hard for me to give it up altogether because I had only been doing decaf anyway. So I didn't have any of the physical withdrawals. I just have to make sure that I have a hot cup of something to just reach for and bring up to
right,
my lips. Yeah.
right, right.
But I
Wow, I
love
didn't.
coffee.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that you could go to a retreat. I guess you could go to a retreat and detox from. Was it specifically for that, or was it for a bunch of other stuff too?
It was
Like for
for anything. Yeah, I mean,
anything?
but the whole point for them is to help you to detox. You can detox emotionally,
Yeah, yeah.
energetically, but for me it was coffee, and we were lucky. Me and my best girlfriend and I were the only two people there that weekend. So we rolled in on a Thursday and we stayed until Sunday. It was at the foot of the San Gorgonio Mountains near Palm Springs. They had natural mineral hot springs, and I mean, it was
Oh,
great.
nice.
But the detoxification at that time, it was brutal. I'm like, I feel like I was detoxing from cocaine. I had the sweats, I had the headaches, I got
Oh,
sick. You know,
wow.
at least one of those days I just couldn't get out of bed. It was awful. It was awful. And after that, because I always, maybe I'm a fatalistic thinker, but I always think about if something happens and you cannot get to that substance, that means things are really bad. And I don't want to
Yeah,
be stuck in detox and the
yeah.
world is crumbling around me. I'm like,
Right.
no, that's okay. I'm
I
going to get
know.
this right now. So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Some people are like that with wine too, and
Mm-hmm.
alcohol. They make it a part of their everyday. See, I think if you do everything in moderation, you're good.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Yeah, I
keep
agree.
it. Yeah, keep it in moderation. Uh oh yeah, the cacao,
Yes.
say that.
Yes,
Yeah, it
I
does feel a
agree.
lot like coffee. That's such a good
Mm-hmm.
point. Hillbilly says, I really started drinking coffee when I went camping. He made morning
Mm.
coffee. Oh, see, here
And
we
hot
go.
chocolate and cinnamon. There you go. Yep.
That sounds yummy too.
Yeah.
Oh, getting some good ideas. And you go through the hot chocolate thing in your book too. You've got recipes in there, right? For
Yep.
people that like the chocolate, right?
Yep, yep. I love it, and I wanted to throw in the hot chocolate element because I wanted to do something for children. I have a whole chapter. I call
Yes.
it what do I call it? Sips and sprinkles, you know. But
That's
for young
nice.
people, if you teach them to honor that quiet time when they are young, then that's what they'll carry into their adulthood. So it's like kind of pressing the reset button with your children and learning to work with them in a different way by introducing them to a practice that
Mm,
can help them to self-soothe, and to unwind at the end of the day, to help them to hopefully open up and be more communicative with you about whatever pain they're in. Because, kids, they hide everything from us, you
Absolutely.
know. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's the hot chocolate piece was important to me.
Now, obviously, your mom was a big inspiration. I think you said she was a single mom with 5 kids, right? Something like that, raising them.
Yep.
So, um, did you bring a lot of her recipes into the book too?
Absolutely not.
Wow.
No, mom was straight. Oh my God. Okay, so we're talking about U-Ban, right? Instant coffee. Do they even still make instant coffee? We're talking.
Yeah, they
That
do.
was okay. So that was mom's thing, the instant coffee. Um, oh God, I remember we had one of those the steel percolators that you put on the stove with
Oh,
the
I
thing
love
that you could.
them.
Yeah, so that kind of thing. But no recipes. She was just straight coffee. She really liked cream and sugar with a little coffee in it. That was my
Yeah,
mother.
yeah.
So,
That
yeah.
was her ritual. That was her
Yeah.
ritual. Yeah.
That was her ritual. She just had to give up coffee. Mom is 90, and I think the doctor finally took her off coffee about 2 years ago. I said, but all the way
Wow.
up until then, she had a cup every day. She
That
liked a
1
lot.
cup's not bad. 1 cup's not
Yeah.
too bad. What about for folks that are buying a new home, or maybe they're living in a home and they're just feeling like overwhelmed? Maybe the energy's not so good in there.
Hmm.
What do you recommend that they do to kind of clear things in terms of burn? Like what
Oh,
would you recommend?
I say you cannot go wrong with the ancient frankincense and myrrh,
Mm,
dragon's blood,
yeah,
definitely those things, and sage, of course. What I love the way that sage smokes, and I know that there's like a shortage, so make sure that you're
there
getting,
is. Yeah.
yeah, you're getting sage that was responsibly sourced, and all of that. Um, but definitely any of those others, and I even like you can burn it in every room of the house and just move it from room to room. And I have things for clearing a whole house or welcoming a new baby into your house and setting the stage
Right.
for that. Or like when I brought my father to live with me, if you're welcoming an elder into the house, how to set up their room energetically. All of that is in the book.
Nice.
But in addition to, because I love the smoke because I always imagine that whatever is unwanted, whatever is heavy is attaching itself to the smoke and moving out with it when you
Yes.
open up the
Yes.
doors and windows and allow it to move out. And
Right.
then in addition to that, because when you're moving into a place, people are coming in and going out and coming in, service people and movers and that kind of thing. And I will often on the front stoop or whichever doors are going to be used, set up
Mm.
a cauldron that smokes the whole time, and the
Mm.
people have to pass through the smoke to enter your
Oh.
home. And so it's pulling off of them whatever is not wanted in that
Oh,
smoke.
I really like that, Rhonda.
Yeah.
That is a great idea.
Mhm. Yep. I do not joke about the energy.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
great idea. I'm just sitting, my wheels are spinning. So I'm just wondering, like, well, for people that like to entertain and have a lot of people over, I think that's a great idea. Put a cauldron by your door, and as people are coming in, that
Hmm.
smoke and energy is just clearing the vibes, right?
Right. That's correct. Yep. Leaving outside what belongs outside, basically.
You know what concerns me too? I'm very careful when I burn in my house because I'm afraid I'm going to set the smoke detectors off.
Mm. Okay, so that's interesting too. Now, I've never had have I ever had oh, I did have that happen one time one
Yeah.
time a long time ago. But it shouldn't you shouldn't ever allow the smoke to build up enough for the smoke detector to go off. If you do that, that's an unhealthful
Yeah.
situation. Open your doors, open your windows. And if you're ever really like I know some people who live in apartments and they go, "Oh, my neighbor said they can't stand the smoke." Then move to an oil diffuser.
There you go.
It serves the same purpose.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Mish wants to know if you use crystals.
I do. I do use crystals. I'm not a lapidary, so it's not like I'm an expert or anything. I just have some favorites and the ones that feel good to me. I'm a Cancer, so I love moonstone. I love rose quartz. It's soft and loving
Oh, me
and
too.
welcoming. I have two humongous, like about this big, tourmaline, black tourmalines.
Oh,
One on
nice.
my, yeah, one on, like I have an altar uh, in one of the bedrooms in back, and I don't know if you can see. You see my Buddha? That's a little
Yep.
altar right there, and
Yep.
he's holding, or right in front of him is one of my black tourmalines. So, because I've got family issues I'm trying to, work out and resolve. So, oh, I
Yeah.
love rainbow moonstone too.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Very
Yeah, I
nice.
have a couple of rainbow quartzes that I really love and enjoy. So yeah, I do use crystals.
Now, in your book, you go through some holidays too, and kind of
Hmm.
like the rituals that you think are great for a particular holiday, right?
Hmm.
Are
Yes.
you steadfast with that? Like, do you make sure you do these rituals all the time for every holiday, or whenever
I
you can?
don't
Just,
know
yeah,
because everybody's just not into it. But for me, I always do. I always do Kwanzaa,
yeah.
and I always do something on Independence Day. Oh gosh, a friend of mine wrote a beautiful um, ancestral mass for for descendants of enslaved people,
Mm,
apologizing and giving blessings to the ones that died in the Middle Passage.
yeah.
And it is just the mind. That's what I do on the 4th of July. And sometimes, often, I will even facilitate a call and do a virtual, like open call, anyone who wants to come and participate. And it's a call and response kind of a thing. So for
Mm.
Independence Day, for Kwanzaa, I'm trying to think those are the two major ones for me.
So not Halloween or Christmas or anything like that.
See, Halloween is a whole different flavor. I
Yeah,
love Halloween.
yeah.
Um, and
It's a
although I
great
may not have
holiday.
oh my God, it's my favorite. Okay, I may not have a specific ritual for it, but I always do something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
something on
Halloween
Halloween.
special.
And I
Yeah.
like the beverages that, like I like playing around with beverage recipes for Halloween. Something that I can dye orange and black, and make it look a
Yes.
certain way in the cup. Yeah, I love
Something
Halloween.
very autumny, like ciders, those kind of things
Hmm.
are great fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love Halloween too.
yeah.
It was so weird. When I had my first child, my due date was October 1st.
Hmm.
And I always would say, "Oh, I want to have my first baby on Halloween." And I would always go around saying that.
Hmm.
So it didn't happen. So 2 weeks into the month, I go into this occult bookstore. It wasn't like a satanic thing. It was
Hmm.
just like
Yeah,
a spiritual bookstore.
sure.
And this medium walks over to me and she put her hand on my belly and she said, "You're going to have your baby on Halloween." And I'm
Oh
like,
my.
"No way. No way.
Mhm.
My due date is like now." She said, "Oh, no, you're going to have the baby on Halloween." Long story short, had my son on Halloween.
Wow, look what you
Yeah,
manifested.
I
I
did.
love that.
I
Yeah,
manifested that. My
that's
husband used
right.
to crack up, God rest his soul, but he'd always tell me that you made that happen. You man, I did.
Hmm.
Absolutely. It's a fun
That's right.
Halloween. And like
Yeah.
anything else, you can look at it as, like some parents won't let their children participate in Halloween because they think it's
Hmm.
satanic. It's all perspective and perception, right, Rhonda?
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
don't.
yeah, yeah. I think every person has to determine for themselves. Even with Reiki, I have had people say, "Oh, is this, is this against Christianity?" And I tell them, "You're the
Yes.
expert on Christianity, not me. So you figure it out for yourself and
Right.
act
That's a good answer.
accordingly."
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good answer. Did you ever bring your community together? Like, did you ever hold community events where you do burn and sip things? Like, what's life for you with your interacting with the people around you in your community?
So burn and brew in this sense, because it was always just a very personal ritual. So the community activities are forthcoming with this book. It's
Oh,
like
nice.
I walked through it in my mind, and because I had to lay something out. I'm a community healer and ritualist, so it's like I can't have the book and not have the community piece in there. So I
Right.
outlined like a minute by minute community gathering for Burn and Brew in this book, which I haven't yet had the opportunity to do because the book came first.
Right.
So yeah, so I haven't yet, but that's definitely something that I will be doing this coming year. I've been waiting for this book to come out.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
No, that would be a great opportunity to do stuff with your community too. Kind of
Hmm.
bring people together and maybe you can even have some like burn and brew samples or sell
Hmm.
some drinks or do something like that. I could see that
Well,
happening.
yeah, and the way I outline it in the book is just to have different things available. See, speaking of which, somebody just dropped a big box on my porch. I don't even know what that is. But to have things available, hey, no, settle. Sorry, I have two dogs. To
Oh,
have
I
things
have a dog
available
too.
for
No worries.
people to kind of make their own, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so you can do it as an open bar, and then they can go and pick and choose out. You know, just okay. Here's a table. There are the
Yeah, that
fixins for
sounds
tea
fun.
and whatever else, and then they can do that. And then I even like the idea of if you have time to have people talk about what drew them to those ingredients. Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
I know. I
I know.
know.
Yeah, it
So
doesn't look
true.
like it's my. If I thought it was my book, I would do my unboxing right here, right
Oh,
now
that
with
would
you.
be fun.
Yeah, but that's not what it looks
That
like.
would be
Darn it.
fun. Let's
Yeah.
see. Walking Tree says,
Oh,
"Do you read tea leaves? Is there a message at the bottom of the cup? What's
yeah.
up with that?"
I do not read tea leaves. I read tarot, but I don't read tea leaves. As you can see, my tarot screen back there.
Oh, yeah, it's nice. It's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, tea leaves are, I think they're kind of difficult to read. You can't just, like, I
Hmm.
think you need to be trained in that, to
Yeah.
do that.
And
Tarot
even coffee
kind of,
grounds.
yeah, coffee grounds. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. So let's take a look at your website. I always like to show people that guests that I have on. I always like to show their websites because a lot of work goes into them. And so
Thank
is that
you.
your only, of course, is that your only book or did you write
No,
anything? Okay, go ahead.
I think that was my fifth book. That was my fifth book. So a couple of the others are on Amazon. Two of the others, Amazon wants first right of refusal on, whatever comes after Burn and Brew. So I'm waiting to see what they say. I wrote a book called, in the Black community, we talk about FAFO all the time, F around and find out. And
Yeah.
so I wrote an entire book about culturally what that means in terms of taking care of yourself during this time. We need downtime.
Yeah.
And it's not just time to sit and do nothing. We should be fortifying. We
Yeah.
should be discovering. We should be learning and unfolding and, all of those things. So anyway,
Yeah.
that's one of my books that I hope is forthcoming. If Llewellyn doesn't pick it up, I'll publish it myself. And then my very first book, which is my baby, is called Beguiled and Bewitching, 26 Magical Essential Oil Rituals. I
Oh,
had so
wonderful.
much fun with that book. I wrote that book because, like I said, it took me a long time to even consider myself a writer. I wrote that book because I wanted something to honor the people in my life and, and the different energies that they bring. So I made up like these little fairy tales for each letter of the alphabet, matched it with an herb that began with that, with an oil that began with that letter, and then shared one of my short rituals, a spell
Wow.
short. Yeah, I love
That is
that book.
so
Typos and
wonderful.
all. I love that book.
Gosh, you're
Yeah.
such a creative woman. Goodness
Oh,
gracious.
thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. So these your services, like what do you offer the general public? You have
Okay,
Reiki
so
here.
I
Go
do
ahead.
Reiki hands-on and distance as well as community. Like I do a community event every second Friday with a group called Black Women for Wellness where we offer mini Reiki treatments hands-on. Chakra balancing, aromatherapy, space clearing,
I like
and
that.
Yeah. And then I have, which has been a lot of fun, my 66 days of remote Reiki started out being a guidebook for people who want to self-manage the process of creating a positive habit, a healthy habit. And it has
Mm.
since morphed into, now I've got these groups that start every however many days. Like I'm ending one on the 20th and I'm starting another one on April 1st, where people, all they have to do is buy the book, and then you can join the WhatsApp group. And every day for 66 consecutive days, I send remote Reiki and offer a meditation. So
Oh,
I
I
just
love that.
yep. And so which is crazy because sometimes I lose my voice. I can't, but I have been really, I think I'm on the fourth round of that now. But we're starting another one on April 1st. You can find out about that on my website. But again,
Mm.
it's called 66 Days of Remote Reiki for Personal Transformation. So that's another one of the books, but it's also a program. And if you just go with what's in the book, you can guide yourself because
Sure.
I
Yeah.
attach remote Reiki to the actual book. So anyone who wants to pull down can, or you can join my group.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And obviously it's open to anyone and everyone,
It's
correct?
open to anyone and everyone.
Good.
Yes.
Brilliant. Brilliant. What else in your book did we not cover? I think we pretty much got through a lot of the essential. I know you go through some astrology in there as well. So you connect.
Astrology, moon phases, the moon phase work. Yeah, that was, I had to cut a lot of, I had so much stuff because, we're all moon watchers, right? And
Oh,
I'm
God.
sorry, did I cut you off? I am so sorry. Let's see. Okay. So the book is in 4 parts: the ritual basics, incense, brews, and then putting it all together. And then part five is in 5 parts. Part five is about expanding your practice. So that's where we talk about your divination practices. Thank you. You too, walking trees. The
Isn't that the
planetary
sweetest
work,
thing?
your moon phase work, and I talk about, your moon walk through the zodiac. So yeah, the practice can be wrapped and woven. I almost wrote a chapter on just with magical workings, but it was just too much.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
much.
No,
Yeah.
you do such great work, and I
Thank you.
thoroughly enjoyed your book, and I'm going to use it as a reference myself because I got so many great ideas in there,
Mm.
and it's just I highly recommend it, folks. You got to download it. There's so many different ideas for burning and brewing and creating a personal ritual for yourself that you design that has meaning and value, right,
That's
Rhonda?
it. That's what's important. And just know that you just said the words that I have I have hoped and prayed that people would say, that I'm going to use this as a reference. That's it. Dog ear that puppy, scribble in the margins.
Yes.
I want my book to be the
Yes.
book that when you die, people come and look at it and go, what was this? So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, it's true. I'm going to have to order the hard copy when it comes out. I mean, I love the PDF.
I'm so
Well,
sorry.
that's
One
okay.
minute.
My dog does the same thing. Everybody knows Oliver. Oliver should be coming in here any minute now, barking up a storm, too.
I'm so sorry, Carol
Oh,
Ann.
no, no worries. My dog barks. I have a little poodle, and
Hmm.
he barks every 5 seconds. I'm
Oh my
surprised he's
God.
being so
Yeah, I
quiet
have
right
two
now.
Maltipoos, and they think everything moving outside,
Oh,
is an
yeah,
infringement.
that's
Yeah.
true. He does the same thing. It's
Mhm.
crazy. But
Yeah.
thank you so much for today's
Thank
conversation.
you.
I enjoyed it so much. And when you
Carolyn,
write
this is
your
amazing.
oh, thank
I
you.
love what
When
you
you
do. I will be tuning in.
oh, thank you. And when you write your next book, we're gonna
Hmm.
have to have you back for that one.
Yay! I would love to come back and speak with you again. And thank you so much for, not right now, not back there. Uh, I thank you so much for seeing my book and for seeing me and for accepting that message. I appreciate it. I thank your audience for being here. You guys are
Yes.
all wonderful. Thank you.
They're the best.
Yes.
I love the audience. And of course it's so great because there's a lot of listeners too on FM.
Oh,
Um,
good.
so that's why I like to make sure they know your website, which is wellness uprising.com, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Or if you remember my name, Rhonda Kuykendall-Jabari, no spaces.com. Either one.
Okay. And I have the links in the description to where they can find you on all your social media, in the YouTube and the Facebook and LinkedIn and everywhere. So they'll be able to find you, Rhonda. Thank you all so much. And thank you, Rhonda. It's
everyone.
truly a blessing meeting you and connecting with you.
You as well. I'm going to send you that smoke picture.
Yes, do that. I want to see that. All right, dear friend.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Take care, dear friend. Bye-bye. That was great. Oh my goodness. You guys in the chat rock. I mean, I've been watching everything. I try to read all of your comments. You guys make my day. I just want you to know that. So blessings to all of you. Love you all dearly. Definitely check out Rhonda's book. It's so amazing because you get to see all these different combinations of things that you never thought about, whether it's burning or brewing. Lots of stuff with chocolate in there. I can't wait to try. And some of the herbs I never thought to burn, like things that are in my kitchen already. So it's just like a great reference. And that's why I said I definitely want to keep it on hand. So as we wrap up this conversation, of course, a big, huge thanks to Rhonda, and we will be seeing her again. Thanks to everyone. Thanks to United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network. We adore you as always. And please don't forget to tune in tomorrow. Speaking of shadow work, it's one of my go-tos because I do it every day. I'm having Kellyanne Street on tomorrow, another Llewellyn publisher. She wrote a book that is, again, if you want self-healing and shadow work, you need to check this out tomorrow, 3:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's called Embracing the Dark, Why Shadow Work is the Key to Real Transformation. And it really, truly is. Please join me tomorrow, Friday, 3:10 p.m. Blessings to all of you. So much love and energy. Take care. Have a blessed rest of your day. And I'll see you guys then. Bye-bye.